What's up, guys? It's the Jeremy
and Carey
Ask Us show. Today we got a good one. It is preparation for 2021.
Let's go. New Year's
resolutions. Can I get a what?
What are your goals? Oh my God, all the pressure. What are we gonna do? I'm gonna get skinny this year for the first time ever and maintain it.
Yes. Guys, New Year's resolutions. I think they're really valuable. They're very powerful because we can use the leverage. But what I think goes into them is really important if you're setting yourself up for success or setting yourself up for failure. And so I think it's all about, again, micro goals and really what you've been doing leading up to this point. From my perspective, I probably had it a goal to run like every day for like the year, like for like 10 years. I can remember shooting at, like, I was like in 2010, I was like, I'm gonna run. I would shoot a Facebook, I'm running, this is my testimony to the world. And it didn't ever happen. Every time.
Fail.
So for me, I plan to run 1,000 miles in 2021. Okay, that's 83.3 miles a month. Every month for 12 months. And the only reason why I know that I can follow through with that is because in the month of November, I ran 100. And in the month of December, I'm currently at 70. I got 3 days left to get to my 83. So I already have a rolling momentum. And coupled with that, I've done the 75 hard challenge, which was workout 2 days. So I did that the previous 3 months, and I started to run probably like 50 miles a week. So it was 50, 50, 100. I'm tracking to get my 83. I'm still goaling to hit 100 this month. So we'll see. And I'm gonna roll that into the year. But here's the things I've learned along the way. Leg maintenance. How do I do the proper leg maintenance to run that? If I set out with no leg maintenance, the right shoes, the right foam roller, the right CBD topical, the right floss for my legs, all the stuff that I have to behaviorally do to get my legs to recover, the massage therapist, because I'm a big boy. I'd like to think that I'm a small runner, but I'm not. And so I had to take care of my muscles to even think that I could do it.
So what you're saying is if you're setting out these goals, that there's micro, right, goals within that, or right, habits. These are habits that you're creating. So I'm gonna run, my intention is to run 1,000 miles, and I'm gonna set these micro habits in there to help me maintain my success to get to where I'm headed.
Exactly. So I think that there's support around it, because I also asked the question, who's going along with me? And so I've already enrolled over 10 people to run the 1,000 miles with me over the next 12 weeks. And so there's accountability. So there's all this involvement.
12 months.
12 months. So it's like, oh, okay, that's big. That's crazy, right? And when I look back at going like, okay, I love the dry January. No alcohol for the month of January. You know, that's a great way to start, because when you start, you can build momentum. And so I think that these bite-sized goals are critical for New Year's resolutions, but when they're so fast and big, maybe they're not accomplishable. So it's like, what works for you? Maybe it's like walking, riding your bike, fitness oriented.
Let's think about what people say, Jeremy. People say this, 2021, I'm gonna get my health together. Very, very broad. What's going on with your health right now that we need to get it together all of a sudden? And this is, we really teach lifestyle goals, right? Lifestyle, like not something you're gonna take that's a fad or quick, or I'm gonna start the keto. Are you gonna do the keto the rest of your life? Are you gonna learn something if you take on managing a keto style diet for the month of January? You're probably going to learn something, right? And there's always takeaways, but let's go back to the big question. I'm going to get my health together. Well, what does that mean? So guys, this is why we get coaches too, because I could be asking you these questions and you're like, I actually don't know what that means. Well, you have an idea, because getting your health together might be like getting your body weight down because it's too high, getting your body fat down because it's a little much. So now what do we do to create healthy habits that you're gonna be able to do for the rest of your life? So these micro steps, I think, is important to manage. What Jeremy's talking about, on top of what does it mean when you're saying you're gonna do something, what does that really mean? And then saying, okay, if getting my health together means going dry January, Why? Well, we know that alcohol in consumptions that we've been taking in the last 10 days might not be good for us, right? And so it's time to maybe clean up, sober up. So if we take that, but what does it look like for the rest of the year? Are you going back to heavy drinking in February? Or are we taking that, feeling great, which by the way, you feel amazing when you stop drinking, and then taking that in and just being like, yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it out of my diet unless there's a celebration or something. So let's go back to, what is your goal? What does it mean? And what does it look like to put some micro habits in there so that you have success? So now, Jeremy, going back to what we have planned to help people here, what is it we're up to?
Right, so it's all about, again, starting with a plan, right? And so what we put together, we've been doing this for over a decade plus. We do our I Am Challenge, and right, it's very intentional on how we go 6 weeks with a focused intention on our physical health and wellness, our goals, our nutrition, and how we're targeting 6 weeks to be very intentional about how we go about doing what we're doing and doing it with people. Yeah. And so it's very important that you get with your tribe, if you will, and go along on that journey. And so we, create that environment through our I Am Challenge.
So we want to invite you to join us. It's 6 weeks. It starts January 8th with our kickoff goal setting, and then we move in and keep each other accountable for the next 6 weeks. And these are just small habits that we're asking. Let's come together, commit to something, create some small habits that when the 6 weeks, it's not over. Man, we continue and we learn something, and man, we say, we're gonna keep this up because we feel so amazing. And then these are lifestyle changes that we help you create. And again, you don't ever lose those. We just keep adding every year. We add a little bit to them. So Jeremy, do you, outside of your 1,000 miles, do you have some other intentions?
Yeah, so it's a big conversation. I made a post on my Instagram about the one thing, and it's a waterfall effect. I'm always looking for what is that one thing. There's a great book by Carey that talks about that specifically, the one thing that impacts everything. And for me, running does that because it's meditative, it's spiritual, it's physical, it's mental, right? And it allows me to dive into who I am, and that's why I chose that for my year, to set the course for the actions that will come forth from that. So in saying like that is coupled with eating well, training 3 days a week, doing body weight resistance and dumbbells and barbells, right? That plays into larger goals that I have on my monthlies of what I want to get accomplished. But the first 90 days of my year is build and booked. We have the Fittest Experience coming at the end on the 30th and 31st of January. I'm expecting a new baby coming into February and March, me and Lisa. And so I have 8 weeks partition for what it looks like to
have a dad, be a new dad,
and then I'll start game planning what's next from that standpoint. But I have some other benchmarks in there: purchase land,
so the year's mapped
buy
out.
a home is very much mapped out.
That's good. I like that. It's all a plan, guys, and this is the week. Cast your vision for your life, write it down, and then from that vision that you want in your future, come all the way back to 2021. Jump on board with us.
I want to just leave this though, is that this, what we get is so cliche that it's a journey, but at 39, more than ever, I realized that everything we're doing is leading up to the next thing we do. And we never, it's not game over, it's never lost.
Yeah, it's not ever finished.
It's not. And so the deal is if you continue to move forward and have a spirit of willingness to step forward and not having a spirit of quit. If you have a spirit, and that's internal, guys, I want you to get that spirit of willingness versus spirit of quit. You can show up the same, but your spirit could be quit or your spirit could be willingness. And I just encourage you to be willing in 2021, and have your best year yet, guys. So thank y'all so much.
Sweet.
We will see y'all on the other side.
Happy New Year.